All right, y'all. We got another one from Devo. We got Jalen Milroe highlights. Um, they didn't really include too much of him in the actual game highlight video, so kind of looking forward to seeing this. So I'm gonna check this out. Get us some opinions. The completion. Ramble. Ooh. Oh, decent. That was a gain. He look kind of tired. Maybe I'm tripping. Look like real puffy under his eyes. He looked tired. What the heck? Why they keep showing him looking mad? Too high. Browns got Junkins back signed bond on the same day. Waiting for July 4th, 2027 to get. I don't have any thoughts on that. Like it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It was just, pass too high here. For the most part, he's hitting the guys where he needs to. This here, just chemistry off, connection just not there, I ain't got too much negative to say about that. I don't blame him. He was out there to hand the ball off and didn't really get to show off his skills. Okay. So that's the narrative around that. All right. Well, let's check out a breakdown. Let's see. Jackson Kruger posted
All right.
a breakdown of his performance.
So we got to see some Jalen Milroe here. Another Jalen Milroe performance.
So they put him in a first to do a sneak, and they didn't put him back in until the fourth quarter.
We saw him last week as well. Staying up here late on the East Coast to make a Jalen Milroe
Oh, that was
video.
Broden
So
at the end.
Dive in. And actually, speaking of, I guess not really a dive, but a quarterback
Tyrone.
sneak here, he has to have the record for longest technical playing time in NFL preseason game. He's got hit a snap with 13 minutes left in the first quarter, and then obviously finished the game. Why? Well, I find this interesting. I don't know if it's worth talking about, but I figured I'd mention it. He took the quarterback sneak here. I just found it fascinating that he took it, but not Drew Lock. You see, watch as, I mean, it's converted, whatever, right? Like the quarterback doesn't.
That is decent logic there, because isn't Drew Lock bigger than him?
Do actually a lot on the quarterback sneak, especially now in it's really a tush push at this point, which makes sense due to tush push in this era. Logically that's smart. But I don't know if they're practicing this with him. I mean, I just again I'm just thinking kind of out loud here, but I don't think this is nothing. In an NFL game, usually you'll only dress two quarterbacks and then have one as the emergency quarterback, right? So would you have Milroe be running these practices if you plan on having him as third string, which he currently is? I don't know. Just worth mentioning. But okay, let's get into the actual, performance now. So here we go. As I said, entered the game very late here. Late third quarter is when he really first started playing. And also, on another side note, I know I'm taking forever to get into the actual film here, but do we have to do these interviews right here? Like, we've all been waiting for Jalen Milroe, right? That's why we're tuning in to this
partially factual. I'm not gonna lie. Milroe is definitely a quarterback that you want to watch play, just because of the dual threat aspect, the exciting factor. But for the local fan bases that want to hear, some talk from their favorite players, I could understand it.
Game. I get that, like, these are local broadcasts usually, so I get the interviews can be fun. I understand, and it totally makes sense in the fourth quarter of some game where there's
Appreciate
no
it.
notable players playing. But like this is a notable player, right? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the play. It's a zone coverage concept, cover two zone right here. You see how this can work with the receiver closest to the sideline, kind of holding the corner underneath. You can then throw a little bit further deep. Milroe's going to take the snap, and I'll pause it right here. You'll see that this is, it's open, right? It is. There's a window to make this throw, but still, you got to be able to hit the open guys, right? As you see, Milroe is able to do that. So, again, is that the biggest highlight reel level play you'll ever see? No, it isn't. But it's still he made the right play, right? It's good there. Although heading over to this play, this one I was not as thrilled with, I guess we can say. So it's a 3rd down and 5. Okay, important situation here in a meaningless game, right? But you're still playing it out, playing it as though it's an important play. You see this route going over the middle. That is where Milroe was going to look. He takes the snap. Again, this is his first read. It's, about the cut. It's a little bit of contact, but it looks like it could potentially get open. Definitely want to look there and see exactly what happens, except Milroe has.
I'm curious about this right here. Like, where's the safety? Like, is there a window here to make this throw? But if not, it's okay. As far as this pressure
Again, this is
goes,
his first read.
okay,
It's, about the
that's a good step up. And then he planted too, so he's getting ready to like
cut.
he
It's a
didn't
little
step
bit
up
of
to run.
contact, but it looks like it could potentially get open. Definitely want to look there and see exactly what happens, except Milroe has already stopped looking at this play. He's not looking downfield. And in my opinion, that is a problem.
Kind of look like he's looking over here. He took his eyes off of these two. I don't know if this is his first. I don't know what his first free was, but
Like, listen, he's an incredible runner with the football. I want to, like, this is the clean enough pocket. Honestly, it's a really clean pocket. I want to see him looking to throw. He can throw effectively. Instead, he sees man coverage and immediately wants to run out the football. But, like, listen, defensive linemen are just so athletic in this league. Again, I know it's, almost the fourth quarter of a preseason game, so you're getting backups and all that stuff. But, like, backup NFL players are still college all-stars, something I say all the time. And, like, it only gets tougher once you play the starters. Like, you're gonna have to sit in the pocket more than he did in college and more than he did on this play. So yeah, just not a great play there in my opinion. Heading over here, we did see again kind of similar to that first play I showed you. Like it's tough. I mean, it's always hard to evaluate guys when they play this late into the game. I'd love to see him get like reps against at least like backups because even though I just said these guys are still college football all stars, it still is a difference. The play you see on your screen, I actually think it's supposed to be man coverage. They're disguising as though it's zone. I believe that's what they're going to do right here. You have, players going to be cutting more over the middle. Watch what happens. Look, you have almost like a little bit of a rub route there. The Chiefs try for a switch, and that just doesn't work at all. There is a player wide open. So that's what I mean by like, this is one of those, it's closer to college football than NFL here on this play, right? You have someone wide open, but still, quarterback has to read the play, make the right throw, right? Milroe does his job, and then unfortunately his, the teammate there can't stay on his feet. That's funny, but ultimately, again, I don't know how much that means. It means a little, right? He was able to make the right play. That's always good, but it's nothing. Doesn't mean a lot either, right? He did also miss this. Ultimately, again, stay on his feet. That's funny, but
one thing I do like is that he's able to get the ball there. Pocket clearly collapsing. The pressure's not in his face yet, but the pocket is clearly collapsing. So I think solid.
ultimately, again, I don't know how much that means. It means a little, right? He was able to make the right play. That's always good, but it's nothing. Doesn't mean a lot either, right? He did
And
also miss this throw that probably could have been a touchdown if he hit it. But I will say, and like this is kind of what I should say about all of these plays, but especially this one, it's raining. So not great weather, and that does affect things. Like I remember Bo Nix in a regular season game against the Jets last year, he missed like a dozen throws because he couldn't get a good grip on the ball in the weather. Like that matters. That's a factor, and it also matters, and maybe is why he wasn't throwing the ball on some plays. Maybe he didn't trust him in this weather. Maybe was making a strategic decision that way. I don't know. It's possible. I still think like that play I showed earlier. I still think I would rather him look down the field, right? Whether you throw it or not. But that is an important asterisk to put on like any negative play you feel like you have from this performance, in my opinion. Okay, now let's go over here. Because listen, I've thrown some critiques out about some of these plays and some of these, maybe, missed throw in the weather and then him not throwing the ball down the field. But like, one thing that has to be mentioned is like, I mean, listen, this guy is just such an explosive runner, right? And we didn't get to see it as much in this game, but like, I thought he really showed it a lot in the first preseason game, like often. Here you saw him definitely, handing the ball off a lot just due to the weather. But like, so this is gonna be a play action rollout towards the top of the screen. And when this play begins, I mean, you're gonna see so far, first part of play, nothing too fancy right here. But once he gets to this point, you really are going to see just how explosive he can be with the ball in his hands. I mean, watch him it's really good stuff. And honestly, he almost, I mean, again, it kind of, the play itself kind of got, funky there at the end because I think he was trying to just get out of bounds to not take a hit because it is the pre.
If he would have dipped back in right here, broke out the block right here, he's boxed out. So it's like he could have easily he would have got hit. Now how hard, I don't know. I'm not gonna assume he would have got hit hard, but if he would have stayed inside, he would have got the first down. Would have cut this back in.
Season, but like obviously he had that first down easily had he lowered.
I don't look like he's short, but I mean it is what it is.
The shoulder and made sure he got it. If this was the regular season game, he gets the first down. So yeah,
26, one of the best Maddens.
You see the athleticism, you see the mobility. It's good stuff. So yeah, I mean those are my thoughts mostly on Milroe. It's like, listen, like he did some nice things. It was kind of an unfortunate situation where like also like game situation, they were up 1 million, so they were just running out the clock for a good chunk of it, which is like, okay, I guess I get like game situation why you do that, but also like, you don't have to. Like it is practice, but then again, it was very.
At the end of the day, whatever plays that they are calling with Milroe in, he knows that he's gonna make the roster. Just go out there, do what you got to do. That's it. It's not you're not finna start over Sam Darnold. They just paid him too much money. At best, you could potentially beat out Drew Lock, but I mean, they call in these plays. I'm pretty sure to see other things. We need to see if this receiver is gonna block. We need to see if the O lineman gonna block. We need to see how this running back looks. This, that, and the third. So there's other things that they got to see for these players who potentially aren't going to make the roster, or see certain combinations of O-line and how they work out together, so
they probably just wanted to run for those reasons as well. It's a whole thing. I'm sure they wanted to just get out of there as well, so all of that stuff. So unfortunately, we didn't get like a ton of sample size with Milroe, but still, ultimately a player 2 here that I wasn't crazy about, a player 2 here that I enjoyed, and then mostly a lot of like, nothing crazy here. I definitely was higher on the first performance than this one, but I don't think there was nothing here as well. Just maybe, a couple things to clean up, right? If I'm a coach in the coaching room, I'm like, hey, maybe a couple of these things, let's pay attention to that. Let's make sure we're keeping our eyes downfield, things like that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.
The outro, yeah, I thought he been testing the outros here and there. Somebody I've seen like at least like the last 10 videos. Some of them have different outros. Oh, Emory Jones had a seizure. Oh, that's wild. I figured he got concussed on that hit. I didn't know it was a I wouldn't have thought it was. I mean, well, again, his fingers were, so yeah, I could see that. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. As far as Milroe goes, again, like I said, I mean, there's nothing in the preseason that I'll be worried about with Milroe, unless he's just throwing a bunch of picks and having a terrible day. But it's not much that I would be worried about with him. He's a lock to make the roster. Is this the Packers? Packers field? Yeah, Packers fan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got other stuff that they want to see. Players. So comment, subscribe. God bless.